to the final.
He had fun. I think he surprised us too. What did he run? 10:36?
Yeah, he did.
Something
He
like
surprised a lot of people.
It was good. Will we see a surprise here from the 5-time Olympic medalist Justin Gatlin?
Well, he has every medal, right? 04 gold, bronze in 2012, silver behind Bolt in 2016. If he gets to Tokyo and gets a medal, he'll be the oldest Olympic medalist in any race.
He's in lane 3, 2 lanes to his right. Trayvon Bromell, fastest man in 2021.
Both of these guys call Florida home. Fastest man in the world and undefeated all 2021. That's all you need to know about this kid.
9:77 is what he has run on this extraordinary comeback story. So you see Jalen Bacon there, Cravon Gillespie, Kenny Bednarek, Isaiah Young, Mackay Williams, and Mike Rogers out wide in lane 8. Keep an eye on Mike, that's for sure. As here's Kenny Bednarek. We've got to keep a watchful eye on him too.
Yeah, because this is the event that he doesn't have as much pressure in. He's expected to be among the top 3 in the 200 because of how well he's been running this year.
He said, I just want to have fun with it. Call me Kung Fu Kenny. I want to be more. I want to live Kung Fu Kenny. Take some of the pressure off. Semi-final one of the men's 100. What kind of start did Trayvon Bromell get? With that red stripe across his chest. Gatlin's trying to go with him. Trayvon Bromell has the lead. Trayvon Bromell has the win and eases up at the finish to run 9:90.
That was a Kenny Harrison kind of start. Just a little bit of wind in his face. The winds in Eugene, Oregon will go back and forth, negative and positive. But I think more importantly, the favorite to win these 100-meter rounds at the trials shows you why he's been undefeated this year, because when he gets a little bit of a gap, he doesn't give it back. He puts his foot onto the ground first. Creates a little bit of separation here. Look at Gatlin, 2 lanes to his left. But Bromell isn't giving any of it back. And he has enough of a cushion to back off a little bit at the end and still run 9:90. Gatlin in there with the auto cue in 3rd at 10 flat. And Bednarek, who we said, no pressure. This is not an event where anybody was necessarily expecting him to factor. He's going to factor all right because he's into the final.
9:96 for Kung Fu Kenny. But it's all Trayvon Bromell with that 9:90.
26 miles an hour he hit in winning and running that 9.90.
Top 3 get the auto cue, as Addo said, to the final. You'll see that later tonight, right here on NBC. And then the next 2 best times. All right, there are stars everywhere. Here in Eugene, Oregon, like the 200 meters world champion, Noah Lyles. Noah runs next. In this semifinals, 23-year-old Noah Lyles. He is used to the attention, Addo. He's ready.
And in 2019, he did not run the 100, focused only on the 200, got his world title. Now he's trying to run the double in Tokyo. First, he has to get through these rounds.
A little further over in lane 5, Ronnie Baker, who almost ran a personal best yesterday. And he's running with some very special spikes.
McPherson.
Yeah. Check this out. Yes, of course, the stars and stripes. But then a special tribute to Japan and Tokyo. There's some cherry blossom there. There's also a wave of Kanagawa, the famous Japanese print. He's going to auction those off after this event is over, and he's going to donate the proceeds to a charity of his choice. Nice work, Ronnie. Full field for you. Christopher Belcher, Kyrie King, the high school standout of a few years ago, Matthew Bowling, Brian Henderson is in there, and in lane 3, keep an eye on Fred Curley.
You know him better as the U.S. champion in the 400, but he says he's working on his speed, and the way he has been running in 2021, he has a chance to actually make this final, and then we'll see what he can do in the final.
And beside him in lane 4 is Marvin Bracey Williams.
He's already seen his training partner, Trayvon Bromell, qualify for the final.
It's false start.
Oh boy.
Let's go back and do it again. Do you know Ronnie Baker, who's starting in lane 5, we told you the story about his shoes. Interestingly, yesterday he said I was blown away, Addo. He said, I stumbled out of the blocks and I almost ran a PB. He said, I think the mistake that I made out of the blocks actually made me hyper aware that I needed to have a better drive phase and push extra hard as we try and identify who caused this false start.
And I talked a little earlier about how long a championship hold is. The time between set and when the gun is actually fired. It's usually a little longer for championships, the Olympics, the World Championships, the Olympic trials. That is what is causing a lot of these false starts, because when these guys come up for set, there's a little twitching, there's a little movement. And sometimes the starter is going to hear that tone in his ear that says somebody was not steady at the set command.
It's Matthew Bowling there closest to camera, 21-year-old Texan.
On the subject of stumbling, though, there's good stumbling and there's bad stumbling. If you're a sprinter, you can stumble forward and that's okay. You'll recover from that a lot easier. If you stumble and you step off to the side, sometimes that can be fatal for your race.
Marvin Bracey-Williams, who starts in lane 4, was frustrated with the final 40 meters. He said, I need to clean that up. I need to be better today to ensure a spot in the final. Lyles in 2, Curley in 3, Bracey-Williams in 4, Baker in 5. Clean start this time. Good start from Bracey. Oh, Bracey-Williams has pulled up. Ronnie Baker over Fred Curley. Now Curley comes back. Curley, Ronnie Baker and Noah Lyles, the top 3.
Lee, this is a guy who has never made a U.S. team ever. Not World Championships, not Olympics. He is now into his very first Olympic trials final. Noah Lyles looks up at the board. He is also in. But what about Fred Curley given the decision on the line? Fred Curley, the quarter miler, making noise in the 100. 9.92 for Fred Curley over Ronnie Baker. I thought this was the best start that Noah Lyles has had in these trials, and he would need it because Ronnie Baker was gone. And look at Fred Curley running well through the line. He would get to the line first, Ronnie Baker second. Those are your 3 automatically into the final for this evening.
You see in the background Marvin Bracey-Williams pulling up there.
That's a real shame for him because he's literally having the best year of his life. He just set a personal best less than a month ago.
Speaking of time, it was only about 2 weeks ago that Fred Curley said, I'm running the 100 and 200, not the 400. And everybody said, what? And look at Curley, #1 qualifier from the second semi-final to go through. By the way, Mackay Williams and Cravon Gillespie will go through from the first semi-final on time. The finalists have been set, and you'll see it later tonight live here on NBC. You know what else you'll see? Who else you'll see? Allison